In the Vietnam War, there were American units that were almost wiped out, not by bullets, not by ambushes, but by the jungle itself. In this place, the enemy didn't need to pull the trigger. It crawled on the ground, clung to human skin, hid in the darkness, and waited for you to fall asleep. One bite, one small mistake, or just a single night spent in the jungle was enough to turn a simple mission into a living hell. And that is why, for many American soldiers, the Vietnamese jungle was far more terrifying than the battlefield. When American soldiers were sent to South Vietnam, they were told that their greatest threat was the enemy force they would face in combat. But it didn't take long for them to realize a different truth. Here, the enemy didn't always shoot back. The jungle itself was a battlefield, a place where everything around you could kill you. In the Vietnamese jungle, insects and reptiles had endless space and food, allowing them to grow to sizes far beyond anything most Americans had ever imagined. There were centipedes nearly a meter long, thick as a man's wrist, crawling out from damp rocks and tree roots. Their bites didn't just cause pain, they brought high fever, violent spasms, and a burning sensation that felt like hell itself. But centipedes were not the only terror. Giant scorpions often appeared during nighttime patrols, becoming a constant nightmare that no insect spray could fully drive away. Imagine sitting inside an armored vehicle, crashing through dense jungle, only to smash into a tree filled with fire ant nests. Within seconds, ants flooded the entire vehicle. American soldiers reported that these ants were nearly immune to the strongest insecticides available. The crew was forced to choose: get out and face enemy gunfire, or stay inside and endure hundreds of stings. Some soldiers stripped off their clothes in desperation to get the ants off. And what disturbed them most was this: the ants seemed to ignore the Vietnamese entirely. It wasn't just animals. Even the plants of the Vietnamese jungle could become deadly weapons. There were cases where soldiers were yanked from vehicles or knocked to the ground by low-hanging vines. At first glance, they looked harmless, but the moment someone touched them, the vines tightened, wrapping around the neck and arms. American soldiers gave them a chilling nickname: "Wait a minute vines." And that was only the beginning. Many of the most beautiful plants and flowers in the jungle contained powerful toxins. Touching their sap could cause severe burns, blindness, or even death if ingested. The jungle was beautiful, but the price of a single mistake could be your life. The hot, humid jungle was the perfect environment for snakes. Because of this, American soldiers were given one simple rule: treat every snake you see as venomous. Cobras, kraits, pit vipers. A single bite could kill within minutes. And even non-venomous snakes were no comfort. Some were powerful enough to crush a man in his sleep, in the terrifying silence of the jungle night. The forests of Southeast Asia were home to tigers, leopards, and bears. But what frightened American soldiers even more were animals they thought they understood. Wild elephants, water buffalo, and gaur, massive muscular beasts, could charge at humans in uncontrollable fury. There were reports where even bursts from an M16 rifle failed to stop them once they were enraged. As terrifying as all these creatures were, none of them could completely wipe out an American unit. Only one enemy could do that: the mosquito. Mosquitoes carried malaria, the most widespread disease in South Vietnam during the war. Although the U.S. military issued anti-malarial medication to every soldier, the pills were bitter, caused harsh side effects, and constant combat meant many soldiers skipped doses. The result was devastating. Thousands of American soldiers were infected with malaria. The disease drained their strength, shattered morale, and crippled entire units' ability to fight. There were even cases where a U.S. Marine unit was nearly wiped out, not by artillery, but by disease deep in the Vietnamese jungle. In the Vietnam War, the enemy was not always the one holding a gun. Sometimes the enemy was beneath your boots, on the branch you brushed past, or in the air you breathe during a silent jungle night. And for many American soldiers, the Vietnamese jungle was not just a battlefield. It was a nightmare that followed them for the rest of their lives. If you found this story thought-provoking, please leave a like to support the channel. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss future stories about the Vietnam War. The perspectives history books rarely tell.